Millie. Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm wasting too much time on that. Let's talk about non-essential surgeries. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Man, that is a good one.
That's what people are complaining about not getting their thing during this time of crisis.
Yeah, which, like, listen, I want everybody to be happy in their own skin within reason. But during a pandemic, if you getting a gender reassignment surgery costs somebody else their life, then
it's not worth it.
Like, listen, if you're going to kill yourself in the next 3 months because you didn't, get your conversion surgery, then...
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. We choose your next words carefully.
Then,
back for the first time, geek enthusiasts and lovers of the plastic crack. This is your safe space, free from safety. So put your hands on some plastic. It's time for Toy Detox.
hello.
There you go. Spiros.
Let me look at my Google inbox. Maybe he sent it there. I don't know. So what's up, boys? How we doing?
Staying alive somehow.
You managed to survive the apocalypse.
Oh man.
So
I'm waiting on Amazon to get my new Uber Eats mask in stock.
Nice.
Did I send it to Toy Detox? I sent it to like every other chat I'm in. Let me see. Oh my god, let's see.
Wait, when you say Uber Eats mask, you mean like a Uber Eats branded face mask?
No.
That would have been cool.
I know.
No, I was joking. I said I was gonna buy a plague doctor mask to wear when I'm doing Uber Eats, like the one with the beak, and the like spectacles.
That's right. The old school.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome, actually. You should totally do it.
I should just go for the full outfit, like get the long like leather jacket and waistcoat and shit, and like.
Can you imagine like your Uber Eats driver just showing up like dressed like that?
My buddy said I should don a costume, like, because I said that delivering for Uber Eats is the worst Death Stranding LARPing ever.
Yo, that's hilarious because it's true, because that's essentially what Death Stranding is. It's just a delivery game, basically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's crazy. I played that for a little bit. Like my brother has a PlayStation, and I played it for a little bit over his house. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of quickly got disinterested in it. Like,
well, the balance mechanics is a little bit of an overbearing part of that game. So
yeah. The story is cool and the graphics are insane, but it's just not fun to play. At least for that little bit that I played. And to be fair, he was pretty early on, so he probably didn't have like all the upgrades that make it easier to balance things, and he didn't get that. I think there's like a cheat, not a cheat, but like basically like a rocket cycle or something like that you can get. It makes it like way easier to traverse the environment. Yeah, he didn't get that yet, so I don't know. The story was nuts, though. The story is fucking bizarre as hell, which I love. So, but yeah, man, everybody's surviving, staying safe during these trying times, these unprecedented. I think who was it you, Spiro? Somebody on my timeline had posted something about there's an unprecedented usage of the word unprecedented or something like this.
Oh no, that wasn't me, but it's definitely sounds
I
like
believe
something I
that.
would share.
Yeah, it sounds like,
I'll tell you what's crazy, how stir crazy everybody is about this whole thing. Like they don't realize that this is a long haul kind of shit.
yeah, this is gonna be going on for a minute.
Yeah.
This
And
is
people
like
are like, yeah, thinking, okay, so when is it done? Is it done yet? Is it done? Is it Papa Smurf? Are we
Right.
there yet? Kind of. I'm like, dude, it's only been a week,
yeah,
but barely.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
whole summer we're gonna be indoors all summer.
and honestly, we should have. If you're going off of China's, timeline, we should have been self-isolating 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
So, after they silenced the doctor who was trying to warn them and he died, then they decided, oh, maybe we should stop being douchebags and take this serious. And then like I read over the weekend that they posthumously pardoned him.
Apologized.
Yeah, apologized
To his parents because they couldn't apologize to him.
right. Like, hey, sorry about your son. He was right.
Oops.
Yeah, he was legit that scientist in every disaster movie that nobody listens to.
Mm-hmm.
That was him.
Except for he didn't live to the end of the movie to see it through.
Yep. Pretty much.
It's crazy and sad all at the same time. But what's crazier and more sad for me is I think I'm so calloused that I started to laugh at all the different racist shit they call this thing now. I couldn't help it. I know I'm Asian and shit, but that shit still made me laugh like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're allowed because you're Asian, so you're allowed.
Like I was triggered but couldn't help chuckling because I said, shit, that shit's fucking funny.
Oh man, well, it's funny because after the press conference where our brave leader insisted on calling it the whatchamacallit, the Chinese virus. Like a couple of my friends who are left leaning were like, if you call it the Chinese virus or the Kung flu, I'm gonna unfriend you. And I
started to laugh when I first heard Kung flu.
And then he, and yeah, it's unconscionable to say that shit with malice in your heart, to believe it, but if you're gonna get that uptight about words,
yeah, no, agreed.
Then
I'm with
you. Then I'm gonna do what I did, and then post it on Facebook. If you get upset that I called the coronavirus sweet and sour sicken, then I didn't want to be your friend anyway. And I got a perfect laugh react streak out of that post.
It's funny when it was funny to read it, but it's even funnier sounding hearing it, man.
Yeah, like when you say it out loud.
Yeah. It's got a good flow.
Well, yeah, I heard a couple of other really messed up ones too. I don't know, the circles I drive in, sadly, veterans just have a lot of military veterans have a jaded sense of humor too. So the one that I've been hearing tossed around is the ching chong cough.
Oh, fuck.
That's fucking cold.
Oh gosh.
Wait, what?
That's too.
What?
We here at Toy Detox do not condone or endorse any racially charged names for the coronavirus, such as what Yul just said, the ching chong cough.
I was like, dude, did they really go there? I was like, I didn't know. I didn't. It's not so much the words as much as it is the audacities.
Yeah, that's.
I couldn't help but chuckle because, like, oh man, that's fucked up. Of course, because nobody was laughing at the tragedy of what's really going on. But I can't help it. As a person, America. The one thing awesome about being an American is even under these troubled times, you got to be able to laugh at something, man. Gots to be. At least that's the way I see it. The rest of the world don't got to see it that way, but fuck them,
Yeah, but I mean, like, somebody posted on Facebook over the weekend that all the memes and stuff in response to the coronavirus, they're like, well, I can totally see how, back during the bubonic plague, they were writing kids songs about the shit, because, like, it's humor and, satire is a way to cope.
I mean, yeah, that we managed to dodge death, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, shit's heavy right now, so you have to laugh. Otherwise, you're gonna fucking murder your family, like The Shining style.
I know, right? Some cabin fever shit.
Yeah, Bring Around Rosie was the origins of that was during the bubonic plague, right? For that song.
Yep, that was that was the original. Whatchamacallit, like, fuck, the word just came out of my brain. Fuck. That was the original like crisis meme,
Yeah, it was. If you think about it,
Bring Around.
Yeah. We all fall down. I didn't even know that back in the day either.
So
Yeah.
Piao just posted on Facebook. He's like, let's get this out of the way before it happens. What name are we going to come up with for zombies that isn't zombies, because we have to name them something other than the obvious. He's referencing The Walking Dead.
Because we're worried about trademark now or copyright.
No, he's just, like, hey, better to get your ducks in a row before you have to, panic name something, and then, it sticks.
Okay.
Interesting.
So we're not allowed to call them walkers.
Yeah. I mean, we could call them walkers. Like, it can't be zombies. So, what's your name?
Yeah, it's trademarked. Interesting. I got to think about that one. Can't call them like deadheads or anything like that, because they're not.
No, you can call them whatever. I mean, like in Walking Dead, they call them geeks. They call them sickos, biters.
Yeah, everything except zombies.
Right, because I guess Robert Kirkman said that in the world of The Walking Dead, there weren't zombie movies. So it was a completely new phenomenon to the world. So they didn't have a name for the undead already in their vernacular. I went with moaners.
The hungry.
Yeah, that works too. The hungry moaners.
Greg for Mercy said that depending on the symptoms exhibited by the dead, like, we could call them coughers. And I was like, like, that works. Like, if the cough from the coronavirus, carries over to the dead and they walk around coughing. I like that one.
What I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but then I was like, it sounds kind of. It doesn't have enough panache, I don't think.
We can just borrow names from whatchamacallit, Left 4 Dead. We can call them boomers.
Do you guys ever feel, I mean, at this moment, that even though things are bad, it's still kind of the calm before the real storm?
Yeah. No, I mean, because I told you about the rednecks that I ran into outside that sandwich shop today, where they're like, this ain't nothing. Like, the flu kills more than this. I'm like, okay, I didn't get a chance to elaborate because I was in a hurry to, like, pick up the food and go deliver it. But I wanted to be like, the flu is an adult human. You know it. You can fight it. You know, you might have to work a little bit, but you know the enemy. The coronavirus is like a baby
That's
wolf.
yeah.
Like, and the fact that it's lethal as it is, being a pup, like, if it grows to be an adult wolf, then we still can't fight it because it's a fucking wolf.
Uh-oh.
What's worse?
Uh-oh.
What's worse?
What's up,
Migger.
What's going on,
What-
fellas?
For me,
No,
what's
What was
worse?
that?
I think I don't know
Did
if
you
I
just-
discussed it with you guys though.
Yeah, let's hear it. What's worse?
So some people some of the misinformation that people are putting out there. Like for example, the big one is, if you remember this is the most recent one. You remember when you had that really bad cough back in November and December, and there was no explanation for what that was, and
I
you
thought it was
managed to
herpes.
get over it. People are saying that was the coronavirus. So if you had it and you're over it, then yeah, that's what you had was the coronavirus. And I'm like, dude,
No,
you're not,
it
you
was-
know, you're not a gosh damn doctor. You know, we don't know that for a. Although I'd like to think that I was though, because I mean, like, okay, my system's already been used to it, kind of. But then here's another thing that's been spread right now. The next thing that's being spread is that there's another wave of different kind of coronavirus that's being hit in China right
Yeah,
now that
'cause
no one's talking about.
it's a virus that is mutating constantly. So just because everyone's getting over, version
1.0
1.0, like now we have Corona 1.2.
Kit Kat. Key
Oh,
life over there.
COVID. COVID
Yeah.
19.1 or COVID 20 or something like that.
Whatever
No.
Samsung calls it, jelly bean.
Jelly bean.
Yeah, you remember back in the day when Samsung was doing, when not Samsung, but Android was doing desserts to describe every new upgrade. They did away with it
still do.
finally.
Oh yeah, that shit was stupid.
What was the latest one? The latest one was like ice cream sandwich
Yeah.
or
Pie.
Kit
I
Kat,
think it's-
like-
pie.
Pie.
Okay.
We still do.
All right, Mickey. Since
What's up there, Spiros? Long time no talk.
what's up, Mickey, man? So Afotey and I were talking about if zombies were to become a thing in the near future, and we
Mhm.
cannot call them zombies, as they do not in the
For
Walking
social
Dead.
justice reasons, or is
No.
that for like IP reasons? Which one is it?
For the fact that we just can't call them zombies because that would be too logical. What is your nomenclature for the revived dead?
That's a good question because I would always just call them zombies. Huh.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it could
I
be
would call
anything.
them
It could be
zombies or brain eaters or skin eaters or the diseased or
Okay, I like that. Let's go with one where I like the diseased.
yeah. But then would that be too close to the infected?
No, I mean, why? Why is there
Because the infected isn't that Walking Dead terminology?
No, Walking Dead, they've got like 20 different names for the zombies.
Who calls them the infected? Somebody calls them the infected. One of those
Probably
music shows calls them
28
the
days
infected.
later.
28 days later?
Probably. Because they don't really call them zombies either. They just.
Yeah, they didn't call him. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh man, I saw a meme on Facebook that I shared this morning. It had the movie poster for 28 Days with 28 Days with Sandra Bullock. 28 days later, and then 28 weeks later. And
that was pretty funny.
it said this is the most confusing trilogy ever.
28 days.
Did they ever do a 28 months? No, they only did the 28 days and 28 weeks. That's it.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
28
no,
weeks.
I never watched 28 Weeks, so I mean, did it end with like the world just being overrun, or?
28 Weeks Later was actually pretty decent. It was
Yeah, yeah, it was all right.
yeah, it's pretty decent.
It
Was who
wasn't as
was that?
good as the first.
Was Idris Elba in that one? Wasn't there like
Yeah,
a black colonel or something? Yeah.
yeah, he was in that one.
I mean, I need to stop myself. Otherwise, this whole show is just gonna be me sharing different fucking memes that I've seen all.
That's all
I'll
right
drop.
because we
Oh,
said a
okay.
lot.
Okay, so there's a video from, oh shit, what am I doing? I just tapped screen share on Skype. Whoops. Um anyways, there's a clip from the Hot Ones, you know, that like podcast where celebrities eat like really hot wings or shit.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's from the episode with Idris Elba, and the caption says, "These wings are delicious. Who made them?" And then it says, says Tom Hanks, "I did." And then it shows Idris Elba like fucking choking on the wing. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like coughs really hard.
He was doing what, the habanero challenge originally. Yeah.
Watch
Okay.
that show. Watched a single episode of that yet.
I've
I
only seen like clips and bits and pieces. I never watched the whole episode of it.
So, children,
So-
remember yesterday we were talking about New Warriors
Oh yeah.
and how many downvotes it got. Now, Children of the Atom trailer is starting to get that same trend.
Well, I would have thought they would have
what's wrong with
automatically
Children of the
derailed
Atom?
it. Oh my God, what's wrong with it?
I mean, I'm not paying attention, so you tell me.
Well,
yeah, me
so-
neither. I didn't.
go ahead, you spearhead that
Okay.
one, you.
So basically,
Wait. Give the safety briefing, Spiros. You was going to describe this thing, and there's a very large chance he's going to get very non-PC, very anti-SJW.
Oh, we've
and
all,
extremely
we've already,
misogynistic.
we've already crossed the PC line, so
The point of no
we can't
return. Yeah.
we can't come back from that.
Oh, Mickey, you definitely missed it. What happened was I was describing how earlier today in the veteran community, I heard somebody call the coronavirus the ching chong cough. So,
Oh my God.
and I couldn't help but laugh at it because of the audacity. Dude, that's okay. So, long story short, they're trying to pander to the Marvel's just trying to pander to an audience that doesn't exist. You know, the people that ain't gonna buy their comic books. I guess the term they're describing the people that they're trying to reach out to are called Zoomers. I have no idea what maybe just out of touch, but what a Zoomer is. But basically, a bunch of people. If from my understanding, there's a bunch of younger that they're trying to refer to kids. But you got a bunch of people who are writing it that aren't Zoomers, trying to assume what it is that Zoomers like. And so they create this group of characters that you could tell just are too on the gosh damn nose. Like the writer was talking about in this trailer this time, saying one of the mutant characters is a Reddit editor, and one of them's got a TikTok. I'm like, what? What the hell does that have to do with good writing at all? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
So the characters that they got, they look like, and they're saying we got these all new original characters that people can relate to, but they just look like a young girl version of Cyclops, a young fat dude version of Phoenix, and an Asian Nightcrawler. I'm like, these don't look original at all. These are all derivatives with no legacy.
Screen share of it. I see if I can find do a screen share of it.
What?
Yes.
Huh?
I said I'll see if I can find it and do a screen share of it.
So basically, what I feel is the criticism I have as a minority, with Marvel, because I love diversity too. That don't get me wrong, I want that. The problem is they think that diversity should be derivatives of something that already has its own legacy. I don't want that. I want us to have our own.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
I don't want Filipino Hulk. Nobody asked for that. You know.
I'm still
Right,
stuck
it's-
on it's like Zoomers. Like what?
I'm still stuck on that too. That's the terminology that those fools use in the trailer.
But
So-
yeah, Zoomers, like going off of my quick web search of a Zoomer.
It's
Definition.
people born in the late 90s or early 2000s, Generation Z, basically. I was Googling that while I was talking about it.
Yeah. Okay, so
Either
Yeah,
way, if I was the
but
Zoomer,
even-
I feel
yeah.
like I was being patronized. Oh, so that's what we're about? So you fucking millennials think that that's what we're about, TikTok and Reddit editors? That's what we are? You know? That
Hey,
want to
I-
bite off and live off of, Gen X and Boomer ideas?
I'm gonna see if I can find it. So yesterday we actually watched the trailer on this while we was recording this shit. If y'all want, I can pull it up. Yeah, I can pull the trailer right now. Hold on for with Children of Adam, right?
Well,
Are
don't
y'all
you-
all
don't
on
you-
computers?
Let
Huh?
him see the New Warriors one first.
New Warriors.
I don't think they've seen it yet. It's so bad, heroes. I'm telling you. When you see
yeah,
this,
I
you're
mean,
just gonna be.
I saw the pictures that you like shared in the petty
Chats.
artist group home chat.
Safe space.
What a good
Yeah.
name. What a
Y'all
good
want to
name
see
for
this
the
shit?
chat.
Y'all want to see this?
Yeah, go.
New Warriors shit?
Yeah, go
Alright,
for
let
it.
me,
Hey, go ahead.
All right, hold on. First, let me clear the goat porn off my screen, so when I screen share it doesn't.
Jesus.
All right. Share computer sound. Yeah. Share screen and sound. Yeah. All right. I guess it should be sharing now. Hold on.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, I can see it. All right. So here's the. Watch. Hold on, real quick. This guy that's talking. Keep an eye on this guy. He's a. Yeah, he's a slippery. He's a slippery sort of a son. So. There it is.
Oh, this makes me laugh every single time. I'm sorry, man. If I such a cracker up.
Is the
My
audio
name is
popping?
Daniel
I hear the audio?
Smith, and I am the
Yeah, you
writer
can hear
of
it.
Warriors #1. I got interested in the New Warriors later. I remember seeing them on the shelf when I was a kid, picking up comics in the
Oh, I
90s
saw
and
this.
just
I
feeling
saw
like they
this. I
were
remember
too
this.
cool for me. Like I was intimidated by, Night Thrasher who had a blade coming out of his wrist.
Oh, he did say intimidated
Nova
by
was
it.
really buff, they were all the edgy characters for the 90s, as the cover said. New Warriors, I thought, were really interesting characters because they occupy this really cool space. They're forever young, but they've now been around for 30 years. My editors on the previous books I'd done, like Loki and Black Panther vs. Deadpool, asked if I would be interested in doing a New Warriors tie-in that actually poses them as the authority figures in this conflict instead of the rebels, and I really liked the tension of that. So because the New Warriors are the authority figures in this story, they have to be mentoring new Warriors who are under 21 and subject to the laws that triggered the outlaw.
That frumpy.
This new law
frumpy
is
Latin
making it illegal to be a vigilante
chick.
under the age of 21.
Oh.
The artist on New Warriors #1
Hey, hold on,
is
very
Luciano
quickly, very quick, I gotta say
Vecchio.
this.
He designs all of the new...
Hey,
That's what they want. That's what they think Zoomers want. A frumpy Latin
Hey, you.
woman.
So when I told my wife, I showed my wife this stuff yesterday after I got the podcast, right? And the dude Safe Space, I told my wife about Snowflake and Safe Space, right? And I showed her Safe Space, and she was like, "Where's the Safe Space? In his ass?"
Yeah, you can just tell, right? You can just tell.
Oh my God! I'll push play now.
New Warriors and gave them costumes that felt as modern as the New Warriors.
So we got two
costumes.
clones of Cisco. We got Emo Morbius.
Basically.
He's describing them now.
Who is volunteering at a senior center when this mysterious threat shows up and Night Thrasher runs to the rescue. And because she helps him, she ends up in the crosshairs of this new outlawed law. And she inherited from her grandfather a magic
A magic bag.
being trailblazer because when somebody charges into action, she knows that she can do some good with this, mysterious gift that she's.
A magic
Screen
backpack.
time is a internet kid taken to its sort of logical conclusion. As a youth, he was exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas. And that
Experimental internet gas.
screen time is only ever used in
Holy fuck.
sense. And because we're doing a story about teenage rebels, a lot of the names are about teens fighting against labels that are put on them. So with screen time, we liked the idea that he has infinite screen time. Snowflake and Safe are twins, and their names are very similar to screen time. It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet that they don't see as derogatory, to take those words and kind of wear them as badges of honor. Safe Space is kind of a big, burly, sort of stereotypical jock. He can create force fields, but he can only trigger them if he's protecting somebody else. Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they, them. Snowflake has the power to generate individual crystallized snowflake-shaped shurikens. The connotations of the word snowflake in our culture right now are something fragile. And this is a character who is turning it into something sharp. Snowflake is the person who has the more offensive power, and Safe Space is the person who has the more defensive power. The idea was that they would mirror each other and complement each other. B negative is
B negative.
kid. When he was a baby, he got a rogue life-saving blood transfusion, we assume from Michael Morbius, and now he has a very...
I'm going to tell you right now that B negative is obviously the character that he likes the most. That's like his character. That's he sees himself as B negative. Do you saw his smile when he was talking about B negative, dude? He's like, I am B negative. I am B negative.
baby.
And he is me.
Blood transfusion, we assume from Michael Morbius, and now he has a very similar look and very similar vampire powers. B negative also is obviously a pun. It's a blood type, which is great for a vampire character, and it's also a proud ownership of the idea of having a bad attitude. I want the people who read Our New Warriors to feel all of the excitement that they felt if they read the 90s one. We want it to
They're
have
gonna feel something.
personality.
Yeah. A bunch of negative likes.
I'm going to just stop this here because this is getting really long.
Always strived.
You see that? 140K dislikes now.
Yeah, that shit is
like a
crazy.
reflection of the year that it came out. And I don't think we're worried about being dated. I think we're way more interested about it being now.
Wow, way more dislikes than likes. 4,000 likes, 140,000 dislikes. Wow.
Right. So now you got to
Comments
show
is
them.
stupid. The comments is stupid. So what now?
After this, you got to show them the Children of the Atom one next.
I ain't gonna lie. Safe Space is not Safe Space. Screen Time. I like his power.
Dude, gentlemen, we no longer have a toilet paper shortage. Comments
Wow.
are terrible, bro. Like, they're terrible, dog. They're brutal. They are brutal. All right, so I have not seen the one for the what is it for the Atom?
Yes. Just
I haven't
type in
seen
Children
that
of the
one.
Just type in Children of the Atom.
That dude, man. How does that dude still have his job, man? That dude, bro. I can see if he worked. I can see if he worked at Hasbro, but like Marvel, man, come on, bro. but I am interested. I am interested to hear what Afotey and Spiros think about that, though.
What,
I
the
think-
New Warriors?
Yeah.
You go first. 'Cause
Yeah, it's a hard pass.
I think the same thing.
Why are you guys being racist and non-binary sizing this thing? Haters, or whatever.
You pronoun racist.
I mean,
people,
this is like one of those free comics that they would give away, to promote like brushing your teeth or some shit, like, and you have like Captain Cavity and then like Brushmaster, like
Exactly.
That's what these names sound like. They don't sound like real superhero names. They sound like gimmicky,
Yeah, stupid.
gimmicky like shit to push a product. Like,
Yeah.
One of the best names that I heard to make fun of them was Dora Beatus.
that's terrible. All right.
I promise you, they
I'm
can
not gonna
find
lie. Outside of the powers that Screen Time has, and potentially B negative's powers, because he's got a Morbius blood transfusion, so he could potentially be like pretty powerful. But outside of those very narrow aspects of this, literally just their powers, I'm not feeling any of it.
it's garbage. It's garbage.
Like,
It's garbage. Dude, we like railed on that backpack. For how long we railed on that backpack yesterday, you?
For a minute. Like, okay, so you're
Got a
telling me that God made a backpack for this girl.
Yeah, Dora the Explorer, Dora Beatus.
Yeah, I'm like, well, like, first of all, the backpack looks way too new to be something that was
ancient or something, right?
Like, what? Oh man, yeah, it doesn't even look like a divine backpack. It looks like Warlock as a disguise, from New Mutants disguised as a backpack.
Already on the Children of the Atom, the videos they got up here already is terrible. Like,
Look at this.
I'm gonna click the Children of the Atom joint.
Click it. So far, it's only 13K dislikes.
You guys can hear it?
There's so many things I could tease about Children of the Atom, but I will say one
kind of
thing.
face, like just forced characters.
That's, important to the now. And so what is more now than Zoomers?
Zoomers.
Children of the Atom has 5 new characters at the heart of it that Vita very meticulously wrote out entire backstories and histories and families and anything you want to know about these characters, Vita has thought about it already.
One of them has a TikTok. One of them has a fitness Insta. One of them is Reddit. One of them is a cosplayer, and the other one makes mutant music. For so long, it's like the larger media in the X-Men universe is like, mutants are bad, and like the X-Men are evil because they're mutants, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what would Zoomers think of that? They would be like, no, they're great. Like,
how the X-Men react to these new characters who are their sidekicks is a major part of the story that is going to have all sorts of ripples through their titles and ours.
Artwork is nice. I will say that. The artwork is nice.
They say sidekicks, I say knockoffs.
Agreed.
Word.
That's part of this title.
Howard really, really brought the thunder on this. It's really incredibly dynamic.
Because he not only had to design
The art is good, though.
but also these civilian identities. And
Yeah, the art is nice.
like their little brother. And he's making these characters real and whole in a way that a lot of artists probably couldn't.
X-Men was some of my first comics ever, and to be able to play in that universe and also to add to that universe is really
How are you adding if
You've
you're just
never read
taking
an
the
X-Men book
same
before,
characters
you're only
and
familiar with
remaking
them
them?
in other mediums.
Exactly.
Start off.
It's almost like the
Hey, does anybody have a link to the coronavirus stimulus package, like the actual document? Is that available anywhere?
Hell yeah, that is. Oh, wait. Say that one more time now.
Like, does anybody have a link to like the document or anything that summarizes
The bill they're fighting over now, the first bill or the second bill?
I mean, whatever.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure. Hold on,
just
I can help you
catch up on that because I walked into Republican Hornet's nest and now I'm getting.
Here, let me.
getting
I'm gonna switch
black.
to my. I'll find it on my phone right quick. Hey, I'm gonna kill that screen share because that shit is just garbage. It's just horrible. Why even stay on it?
Yeah, the artwork is really nice, but outside of that, I don't know.
Exactly. They're saying 5 new characters, and just like Spiro said, to me, they're a bunch of knockoffs.
I call it. Yeah.
So like now imagine that. To me, I'm like, so they imagine that they had a black. Oh, they did, and a Asian and all. And what they did was, we checked the diversity checkbox of knockoffs. So now they can't be. Now they shouldn't be mad. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, Nobody asked to be a knockoff of any of these fucking other.
Hey, is
OG
this still
characters.
screen sharing?
No.
No.
Turn my porn back on. Go ahead,
None
go
of
ahead,
us.
guys. I'll find a document for you, bro.
So
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But
Yeah.
that's
It seems forced. It seems very forced. Like it seems like they're following the same trend as, most Hollywood movies in the action space nowadays, where it's just basically take idea X, put a shiny new coat on it, and throw it right back out.
I find it to be very surprising for Marvel and DC, but for Marvel, because DC was trying to do the shit too. But I find it to be very, very surprising for Marvel, like especially like we were talking about yesterday, like especially right now where so many new stories are popping up and with the indie comic scene, what they're doing, all the amazing stories that are popping up out of the indie comic scene. It feels so desperate, like they're trying to find a way. And the numbers, I don't think their numbers are down. Like I've heard some reports of people being afraid of this comic book thing right now and going pop, right? Like the comic book bubble going pop, right? But like the movies, the streaming, all that shit is going just fine. The indie titles, the indie publishers are doing really good. So I just don't understand why Marvel would go in this direction.
it's
Even though
terrible.
it ain't all of Marvel. It's just two titles, but still, I don't understand why they would do it. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, because why it's terrible is because there's a bunch of comic book stores begging them to like help them with their for buying what I mean, whatever quotas that they're forced to buy. You know what I mean? Like a lot of comic book stores in the last week have shut down and then are not going to be opening up business again.
Yeah,
at all.
it's true.
And again, why and then Marvel makes these kind of comics to pander to a group of Zoomers that, first of all, what kid can afford a fucking $5 comic book when you can go out and get McDonald's or some other something else for $5?
I think I want to say that's why they're trying to do it, to get these kids, like trying to reintroduce the cool. But they're doing it they're doing it in such a fucking outsiderish way. Like it's like they're trying to be these kids or think like these kids, but they clearly aren't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never heard my kids call themselves Zoomers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never heard that.
Yeah, before this call, I've never heard that.
Yeah, for real. Like, what?
I just heard Marvel say it, so I was like saying, I'm like, wait, who the fuck are they pandering to? A demographic that doesn't actually buy comic books. Great.
That chick that was talking about the story she wrote, I think it was a chick? Was that a chick?
Yeah, you know what? I dare I assume her gender, or I don't know. She might be non-binary. No.
Yeah, she gotta get the fuck out of here with that, bro.
Snowflake.
None of that shit makes no sense, dude. Like, it doesn't make any sense. We got to find a way to make that much less bad, dude.
I can't wait till like younger people just listening to us saying, "Okay, boomer."
My man said much less bad.
Yo, that shit was so funny, bro. Fucking president giving a damn press conference, and he says much less bad. Me and my wife just looked at each other at the same time, like, really?
Oh man! But my favorite was definitely the one who goes, "People that have died never died before."
Oh my God. Did he say that? Did he say that?
People are dying like. I don't even know how to phrase it, but that shit was out of control. Like, what? Did he just say that? People are dying like they've never died before.
He be saying some shit, dog. You can tell he don't be paying attention in his briefings. You can tell, dog. He be like spaced out. You can tell. He getting there and he just be saying, "Oh shit." That shit is funny as hell.
Well, I'm of the opinion that things are gonna get very, very more bad before.
Very more bad. Because he talking about trying to fucking get shit, trying to end the fucking quarantines and shit and ramp business back up. That's how desperate they are to try to get business back going. That's bad, man.
That's probably because That's probably because his hotels and his country club are, experiencing a downturn.
They don't wanna get caught in a situation where they're gonna be sending money out to motherfuckers and shit. It's just really bad, dude. He's listening to he had a group of people that he was kind of listening to, and you could tell in the beginning, and then these other cats start talking to him. They did an interview with one of those guys earlier. It was yesterday, as a matter of fact, talking about what the guy said. We're gonna have to make some sacrifices. By sacrifices, he means lives, bro. Like he means lives. These people are terrible, man. Terrible. That's all right. You gotta do what you gotta do, because guess what? It takes them doing it because the Democrats done screw motherfuckers over in this fucking primary. You know what I'm saying? Now the Republicans gonna do their dumb shit. Then they're gonna work together and do their dumbest shit, and they gonna push the people just far fucking enough, boy. We're gonna be outside of them windows.
I'm talking about some eat the rich.
So, I mean, I'm serious, yo. Something's gotta push motherfuckers to get off the couch, bro. And you might be the one to do it. I don't know.
Like I said, I think it's gonna be. This is all still just the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
You know when we'll be in trouble when no more memes are being put out.
Oh, there'll always be memes because there'll be those fuckers that are so isolated in their caves that they are just, still slapping away with the memes.
I was I might have mentioned this before on a previous podcast that we did like a long time ago, but there's this world building universe that I follow on the internet called Orion's Arm. And it deals with like hard science fiction in the far, far, far future, talking like tens and 20, like on some Warhammer 40K type shit, like 50, 60,000 years in the future. And, there are all kinds of different, like humans have basically expanded out to almost the edge of the galaxy. And it's really, really interesting. It's very, very technical, very detailed, like really deep stuff. And they talk about how memes are basically a major form of communication throughout the galaxy, in this future world building universe. And I see like how that could totally be a thing, like just by like the way social media is right about now. Like I could see people just like straight up not even typing words. Like,
No more just using the memes and shit. That's the next level of communication. That's funny. Oh man, I don't know, man. Well, one cool thing is that a lot of movies gonna be going straight to Netflix and shit. Apparently, that's pretty cool.
Video on
Yeah,
demand.
A lot of stuff is popped up on Vudu and My Fandango and Amazon Prime.
Yeah, see, that's good. That's basically turning the frown upside down.
Yeah, Amazon Prime is doing a thing where they're streaming like kids movies and shows for free without needing an account. So that's pretty cool for the kids who are all cooped up in.
Yeah, after my fucking kids clicked on the PBS Kids like add-on for an extra $5 a month when I was at and I get the text message like on my lunch shift, and it's like your trial for PBS Kids on demand or some shit like just started for 14 days. And then I come home, and then the next morning and during breakfast my kids are like, hey, we watch PBS on Amazon Prime. And I just like, oh, now that text makes sense. I was like, listen, you fuckers, don't click on anything unless like I say it's okay. But apparently it's free, so at least for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I already got billed for my first month before the coronavirus.
Better not forget, because that's what they're banking on. They're banking that you'll forget, and then the next thing you know,
that's fun. I mean, because when the when the trial was up, I like just looked at my kids. I'm like, do we really need this? And they're like, yes. I was like, all right, fine.
I
like,
came very.
I'm like, I don't care. $5 for you guys to not bother me for 15 minutes. That's fine. Like 15 minutes a day. I'll figure out the math on $5 a month, 15 minutes a day. Like, is it worth it? Let me work it.
For your
Reverse it.
Down, flip it, and reverse it.
I came very close to picking up the entire Star Wars trilogy to include the complete sequel trilogy for $99 for 4K with the 4K versions, digital versions.
What would that be called? Like a 9-movie.
They call it the
set.
complete. They call it the complete Skywalker trilogy. That's what they call it.
Saga, yeah.
Or saga, yeah.
Because trilogy, quadrilogy, quintilogy, I don't know.
non-trilogy.
Nineology.
Non-trilogy. Non-nillage. Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm wasting too much time on that. Let's talk about non-essential surgeries. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And that is a good one.
That's what people are complaining about not getting their thing during this time of crisis.
Yeah, which, like, listen, I want everybody to be happy in their own skin within reason. But during a pandemic, if you getting a gender reassignment surgery costs somebody else their life, then
it's not worth it.
Like, listen, if you're gonna kill yourself in the next 3 months because you didn't, get your conversion surgery, then
wait a minute. We choose your next words carefully.
then well, I'm sure the family of the person that got saved in place of your surgery would be very appreciative. That is my diplomatic answer, and that is why when I was setting up our emergency response to the inevitable fall of society, that my role would be the silver tongue spokesperson of the group.
Yeah,
Afotey's tech. Yule's got the knives.
Right.
Garrett's gonna make sure the HVAC is working, around the clock. Mickey will be in charge of guns and shit, and Tyler will be
3D printing all of our supplies.
Yeah, he'll be 3D printing all our supplies, and
when he's not busy with ETR. But he's
yes, ETR will continue into the apocalypse. No, he'll be the manager of the commune.
He is. He's the. Who's that dude that got everybody to drink to punch? That's him.
Jim Jones. Tyler is the Toy Detox commune cult leader.
That's right.
Wait, what's Cody's function?
Man, that
He's a
fucker's
snobby artist.
He's gonna have to find out how to get across the pond if he wants to be part of the commune. All right, he
might be in a better location. As a matter of fact, we might need to find a way to get to him.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the other side of this thing. You know what I'm saying? They're on the other side of
Italy.
Yeah, the UK just got locked down too. As a matter of fact, got put down on lockdown too. Yeah, so they're locking down entire fucking countries, yo. Like, this is
Cody. When you
I've ever seen.
Meanwhile, our president's talking about. Dude, he was literally on there talking about. It's funny because before he was talking about the lockdown shit and going to it, and then that shit came out in the news yesterday, and now today he's like, it could be weeks. It could be months. It could be weeks. It could be months. But I'm thinking more weeks than months. And it's like he's almost like prepping us for it. Like in 2 weeks, you're going to see him say, okay, it's over. Because he was like saying, he kept saying, we can do two things at once. We can do two things at once. People were like, wait, what do you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how we gonna quarantine but not be quarantined? Like, at the same time, like, how do you do that at the same time, bro? That dude, man, he don't give a fuck, bro. He don't give a shit.
Cody, I'm just letting you know, Cody, if you're listening to this episode, watch Doomsday. You watch Doomsday, you'll survive this shit.
Jesus Christ.
You've seen it, right?
Mhm.
What's
I've seen it.
Doomsday? Is it a reality show or?
No, it's that movie with Mitra Rowan and Malcolm McDowell in a post-apocalyptic UK future with zombies,
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah. That shit.
punk cannibals. Like that movie had everything.
Yeah, that movie was pretty cool though. It was bullshit, but it was pretty cool at the same time.
Yeah.
It had horses, Mad Max, knights, maces, cannibal gang punks, zombies. It had everything. Maces, swords, bows and arrows, guns, cooked human being, cannibalism.
One-stop shop for
Yeah,
all
a Mad Max.
Armored personnel and an
Yeah.
armored personnel carrier.
That's right.
dope. Which is the key to surviving the zombie apocalypse. You gotta have
Yes.
armored personnel.
Yeah,
carrier.
yeah. You have to have a
That
vehicle.
makes a fucking difference, bro. That makes a difference.
So Rand Paul is not self-quarantining while awaiting corona test results. So
Are you-
No,
I'm
no,
sure I'm gonna be sick and
he-
work out in
he
the
already
gym.
has it.
he is weaponizing corona against his fellow senators.
Remember you made fun of my
He's-
dad?
he's just-
Remember you
he's
made
just
fun of my
hoping-
dad?
he's just hoping all the old fuckers are going to catch it from him and kick off so he can move higher up in the Senate.
That's savage. That's crazy.
Well, according
Yeah.
to him, he said that if he had followed the thing to the T, he would have never been able to be tested based on criteria
Oh.
of. At least that's what he alleges. So
Fuck your libertarian logic.
the only reason why he said that he was able to get a doggone test in the first place was because of a damaged lung he took from his neighbor in last year or the year before.
When his neighbor whooped you, when
He,
his neighbor
he
handed
took a
him that-
damaged lung.
He has a damaged
Shit
lung.
out his
That's-
ass.
Like, oh, I thought it was some like panic shit. Like he like popped over his neighbor's house and like cut out their lung.
Oh no.
Like, oh, it's mine now. Like, fuck you.
No, that fool had a damaged lung from getting his ass kicked from his neighbor.
Yeah, I think he was fucking that dude's wife or some shit, dog. Cause they was that dude beat
Seemed
his ass.
personal.
Yeah, he speared the dude, speared him, bro. The dude speared him.
I'm like, first of all, how are you a senator getting yourself in that kind of situation that warrants getting speared in the first place?
I mean, consider this, right? Like, it's not like, you live next door to your neighbor and he's on his porch and you on your porch. Y'all get into an argument. Next thing you know, he in your yard and y'all fighting. They're wealthy, dog. So they got big ass. I'm pretty sure they got big ass, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure they got like a whole bunch of fucking land and shit like that. That means somebody came to his house with the intent of handing out that ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Drove all the way up that long ass driveway to whoop that ass, bro. That
Spear
dude came
him.
to give him the business, bro. He came to give him the business and whoop that ass. That's funny. I wonder what he whooped his ass up, bro.
Yo, I just got an email from my job, which I haven't been to work in weeks. Literally, like even before the coronavirus thing happened, I was working from home mostly. So I got an email from my office telling me that someone in the office tested positive for coronavirus.
You got
Oh,
the
damn.
goddamn corona. You got that
And
COVID.
And
Now we all got it.
And you've been working
I
from
was-
home, so you should be cool.
Yeah, no, I haven't been in the office for like it's been at least a week and some change before I,
Yeah, but when we did that
before-
screen share, you gave it to all of us when we did a screen share a few minutes ago. Now we talk.
That's crazy.
That's crazy,
Damn.
man. You gotta be concerned about your family though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What you think about?
so I'm definitely not going into the office like, at all.
Tell us, Afotey, how do you feel now that you may possibly have coronavirus? What do you think? What's going through your mind now? That's that shit they be asking like
Corona.
That's the
I'm
question
waiting
they
for
ask.
somebody to do that song too. I'm waiting for somebody to do a video with that theme, like the my Sharona, but my
Yeah.
Corona.
They did already. Some Chinese guy did it, from my understanding.
Oh, okay.
It's
Of
like
course the Chinese guy did it, because they got a head start on us.
exactly. They beat us to the punch.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they've had time, you know.
Wow, that's pretty close to home. My wife doesn't know this
Yeah.
yet, but if I tell her, she's
Oh
gonna flip.
man, she
Did he
gonna.
test it?
Are you gonna tell her?
Oh
Kinda
yeah, I
guy,
am.
right?
Mhm.
Kinda guy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her. I mean, it's been like the person was in the building March 10th, and I've been working from home pretty much from the beginning of March. So, long before, there was any sort of, hey, coronavirus, like lockdown, New Jersey, or, any sort of proper sort of measures were taken. I had already started. So, and I don't, I'm not symptomatic or anything like that. So I'm good, but it's pretty nuts. Like like it's that close, like legit at my job. Like somebody had that shit. Like, wow. Yo, and it's crazy too. Like and this is like, I see it all the time. Like even before, it's like, because we've been in that building for about a year and some change. We moved from another location to this one. And, I use the bathroom at work just like everybody else, right? And I would literally see people just come out of the stalls and just walk right the fuck out without even washing their hands. And I'm just like, yo, like, word? Like,
You know what's crazier than that, dude? When motherfuckers walk into the store, like, okay, so you go into your bathroom at work or wherever, right, or public place or whatever, right, and you check all the stalls because clearly you want to find the cleanest stall to go take a shit in, right? And
mhm.
then you go past the other stalls and you see how fucked up those other stalls be, even if it's just like piss on the seat. But then you always get that one guy, once you're sitting down in your shit, and you get that one guy just walks into the bathroom, walks into a stall, and you can hear him. He walks right in, sits right down, don't wipe the seat or nothing, and just sits on the shit and takes the shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
that is the craziest shit in the world.
yeah, and that happens at my location too. And they give you the they have dispensers of the, like the toilet seat cover dispensers.
Yeah.
Have
The
those in every
motherfuckers
stall.
won't use it. They won't use it. What the fuck is up with that?
Like when I do it, I build a goddamn nest. Like
Yeah.
I take 4 or 5 of them shits and put them down
Yeah.
on the seat.
And
You know
that's after I clean the seat, bro. That's after I clean
what I mean? Like I'll take some toilet paper and I'll use my foot and kind of like just wipe the seat down. You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy.
Flush the toilet, and then, you know what I'm saying, then put the those blickies down.
I
You know
know
what
I
I'm saying?
like
Just like,
I Walmarts and shit, and I walk past them stores. I'm like, oh no, I can't go in there. And then you find one, and then some motherfuckers come in and just sit right down. I'd be like,
yeah.
sit down that shit.
I'm like,
It's crazy. Like, do they not
cool.
value their ass cheeks or something? Like, I don't get it, man.
And
I don't get that.
I would be in corporate meetings too, and I would, like with, you know, uh, people who were clearly higher than me on the totem pole, and I'd just be giving them fist bumps, like, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck that shit.
I don't care what you think. Like, you can think, oh, this must be a black thing. It's like, nah, nigga, this is a safe. Like, trying not to get sick off of me. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
It's them.
People are dirty, man. People are gross.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've gotten very good at opening doors with my feet when I'm carrying Uber Eats out the door. Like, because I have the bag in one hand and like my phone in the other, so I just like have gotten used to just flicking my foot at the door and flipping them open.
Nice. Yeah. Skill.
So I'm like, fuck that. I'm not touching shit. Like, I'll if I go and like wash my hands like in a Wawa or something like that, I will fucking wrap my hand like it's broken, like in toilet paper, and I'll open the handicap stall door because I'm practicing social distance. And then I will open the door to the bathroom with that wad of fucking toilet paper. And then I'll even carry that wad of toilet paper out into the fucking store and like open the door with it. And then I'll just throw it in the trash can outside the door and get in my car.
Let me ask y'all a question, man. Let me ask y'all a question. So do you guys think, and y'all, and I don't know if we go round robin or whoever, I don't know, but do you think this makes a permanent change on our society as we know it, or a temporary change? And if
Temporary.
temporary, how do we go back?
Temporary because, like anything, like look at 9/11. People were super nice to each other in New York. Like everybody cared about each other, and now like New Yorkers are New Yorkers.
Well, no, I mean, no, I just mean society as we know it in general. Because I mean, look at let's look at 9/11. Like, look at how many things changed.
Well, I mean, yeah, like we have a more invasive government. But I mean, as far as like people hoping that retail and what we are currently calling essential workers are going to receive some kind of sustained pay increase, I don't think it's going to happen. Because at the heart of America is capitalism, and as long as the people at the top can get as much fucking money as they can with screwing as many people at the bottom, they're going to keep doing it. So So I mean,
y'all don't foresee any permanent changes, or y'all don't foresee this to be a catalyst to some different, whether positive or negative,
I think there is going to be a shift to more businesses utilizing work from home, like call centers, stuff like that.
Citrix.
Because I mean, I used to work for the Coca-Cola call center here in Tampa, and I have a couple friends who are still there, and they said that about 55% of their workforce prior to the corona outbreak were already work from home. So now they're 100% work from home, but they already had the infrastructure in place to make it happen. So, I mean. The most interesting thing that I'm looking forward to seeing after Corona is schooling, because are we going to see a larger shift to like virtual schooling and homeschooling? Because if it's there, I mean then you can cut out a lot of overhead in the educational experience.
That's a good point, because we've been well, mostly my wife, but we've been doing homeschooling pretty much for the past couple of weeks since they've been home. And it's worked pretty well. It's a little stressful because we both have to work at the same time, but if one of us didn't work, let's say, and could spend full time just doing the schoolwork with the kids, it would be a feasible thing. So I would assume that if some Americans, I should say, have that capability, then they'll probably want to stay with it. So I see where you're coming from with that, Spiros. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't think there's going to be like some revolutionary shift in favor of workers like everyone is hoping for.
Nah, shit finna go back to the way it was before. It's just gonna be the same shit. Like once this dies down, and because you raise a good point, Spiros. Like 9/11 was way worse than this. At least in terms of the visceral kind of reaction it caused, right? Like,
right,
coronavirus could potentially kill more people than 9/11, but just as a single event, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was way worse, at least so far. And motherfuckers went right back to doing the same shit once it died down. Nothing. So, yeah.
So I'm reading an article here. Amazon saying that some shipments may be delayed up to a month for non-essential stuff, And I'm laughing because I ordered some Lego sets yesterday, and one of them came in today. So,
Got to have Legos for the kids, quote unquote.
yeah, for the kids, of course.
Well, I know the Legos that I get are gonna be for me, for sure.
Oh yeah, I grabbed a couple stuff. I grabbed a couple things for the kids, and I bought some for myself. So
I'm waiting for the Mandalorian sets.
yeah, well, I mean, have you got the walker?
I did not. I was thinking more about getting the his
The
ship.
Razor Crest? Oh,
Mhm,
okay.
The Razor Crest, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the Mandalorian that's in the set that's out right now is the same as the one in the Razor Crest, but you can't get Cara Dune in the Razor Crest.
Oh, you have to get because she's sold separately. Yeah, then in that case, I may have to get that.
She's
that,
in the
that-
walker. It's a nice build. It's an AT-AT, so. Welcome to building up to a detox. Oh man, I wish that StreamYard supported more than 6 people. I think we should have done a detox invasion of Enter the Realm tonight.
That would have been dope.
Know that we're all back again, kind of.
Yeah, like we'd be like the NWO, just like crashing the party.
New World
Order.
Hey, I used to love that point.
Toy Detox.
NWO was out there. That was pretty cool, dude.
It's funny you should say that.
Was going against them and shit. That was like he was the crow and all that. That was pretty dope.
I was watching those videos all day. The rise and fall of the NWO and WCW and the Attitude Era stuff. I was watching.
Order.
I'm not gonna lie. After 2003, I stopped watching wrestling. So a lot of these characters that are being promoted, I have no idea who the hell they are. I'm out of touch. So I had to think back about all the days when I was still watching wrestling. And
Future is
back
now,
then,
man.
But yeah, things are never good for me. Yeah, things are never gonna be the same at all. Well, first of all, I'm gonna assume that we don't if we don't find a vaccine, all it takes is for one person to be infected and
then we're right back to square
then
one.
we're back to square one again, and this all gonna keep repeating and shit. So that's the sucky part about all of this. We'll always be in permanent quarantine. Maybe at one point we're all just gonna accept that. Well, we're just gonna have to see who's gonna survive this.
Well, you guys don't forget. Don't forget. Or should I ask? Are you guys considering the impact of the impact of the economy? This will have on the economy and the fallout from that. Because that, to me, I think that's what the real catch is. You know what I'm saying? Like the virus itself is bad and all that, and it'll go away and it'll come back a little bit different, a little bit stronger. But it's the economy that we got to be concerned with. And so what I'm asking y'all just like on a total. Yeah, the virus as well, but I guess I guess what I'm asking you guys, what do you guys think the total fallout will be? And if there'll be any change, do you think the economy just come roaring back? Like some people are lying themselves and think it's going to come roaring back and it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, or do you think it's going to be all out like Mad Max, or you know what I'm saying? What do you guys think?
I'm gonna tell you something, man, and this is gonna sound super uneducated of me, but what the fuck exactly is the economy anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we stopped buying shit, so it just kind of I'm ultimately confused as to why, why the economy goes bad at all, if that makes any sense. Because I know Americans be spending and using credit card all the gosh damn time. So
right. So, well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You see what I'm getting at? Like, even right now during this mess, people are still buying groceries. Money's being spent somewhere.
Money. Like,
guns are being bought.
Money, bro. Yeah, bullets are not. Bullets are selling out. Bullets and bread, yo. Bullets, bread.
I really don't understand when people are talking about like the economy going bad. Like, I mean, maybe I guess stocks and whatever the fuck that all means. But as far as regular people like us be doing spending, people are still fucking spending. So I really don't understand when people say that the economy is gonna tank. Like somehow people in America stop buying shit.
I don't
It's
think
not,
that.
the economy
Go
is
ahead,
not
go
going
ahead.
to because the powers that be won't let it.
Yeah, because
They,
people are gonna need money to.
yeah, they will like you see what they did with the infusion of 1.5 trillion dollars, what it was, into the banking system.
It's
Like,
2.5 total.
yeah, they're not finna let this economy tank.
But that
Like,
shit
not
burnt up, like that shit evaporated.
not for the most part they won't. Like, for the little people like you and me, perhaps, but not as an overall thing. Like, it's just there's just too much at stake. You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
I'm. Doesn't it confuse you guys? Like people didn't stop buying shit. Like people, if I mean things got more expensive, of course, and that's why people stopped buying certain things. But
Mhm.
for the most part, people are still spending. So I really just never understood the concept of why any economy, at least in me growing up, went bad at all.
The fear
But
comes in. The fear comes in when the everyday people, the working class people, don't have jobs. Like right now, people are spending. People, there are a lot of people that are out of work already. Like there are a lot of people that are out of work already. But then the fear is that um, unemployment goes, which is already crazy right now. But the fear is that it gets so far out of control that the majority of the middle class and the working class don't have jobs, and then motherfuckers can't pay bills, can't buy shit, blah 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 blah, and then it spills. The same way they like to make that argument about trickle down, which I think is bullshit. But the
yep,
trickle up is the realest shit. You know what I'm saying? That's actually the realest
Right,
shit. So if you
right.
lose a trickle up, then you know what I'm saying. Then that's what the problem is. And so you got these companies that are because these rich motherfuckers and these mega businesses, they're not going to lose like we lose. What happens is they're going to cut their ties. They're going to fire motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And then
I
you end up
agreed.
in unemployment line, right? So right now, if you got a job, you good to go, right? But if you're that motherfucker who's I mean, luckily for me, my wife makes a pretty good amount of money, right? So my little sorry ass paycheck that I'm getting, you know what I'm saying? We on a shoestring budget, but it holds things together. But let's just say my wife works in the hospital, so it's a different thing as well. So she's what they call mandatory personnel or whatever the fuck, right? Or essential
Mm,
personnel. But if
that's
my
not
wife
good.
loses her, yeah, my wife loses her job, and my job's already cut back. I mean, we're already at a point now where they've shuffled down, so we're not all in the store at the same time, so we actually work in shifts on certain days and shit. But
Mm,
it's coming to a point where they're gonna shut all that shit down here, right? So then I can't go to work at all, right? So I'm just using my shit as an example. If my wife loses her job, well, that's it. It's a wrap because there ain't no savings. You know what I'm saying? There ain't all
mm,
that shit's been gone. That shit's been gone. We're trying to keep shit together, right? So it's a wrap. And so for motherfuckers who got it like that or worse, it's a whole different story. If you go back to like the crash of 2008 and shit like that, a lot of people ended up being homeless, and you saw a shift that
mm.
motherfuckers still haven't recovered. Like you watch even now to this day, you still see school buses picking up ass load of kids at extended stays, and you know what I'm saying, in
Yep.
hotels and shit. That wasn't a thing before. It was before 2008. That's a thing now. So those shifts, those paradigm shifts did occur. You know what I'm saying? And then when they said like, "Oh, we made our way back, and we fought our way back, and the economy's good." The economy is good for certain people. Yeah, it's good for a lot of people, but you got a lot of motherfuckers that's still hurting from then. So when you bring this into effect, that's what it changes. That's where the detriment is, and that's why you see those motherfuckers for the first time ever talking, even debating the idea of sending checks out to people. You know what I'm saying? And you see Trump talking about fuck it, we gonna end this goddamn quarantine shit so motherfuckers can get back to work, sick or not. You see what I'm saying? Because they know we can't take another one, bro. And they're saying right now, like where the economy is right now, where the numbers are right now, is technically on the books worse than it was at its peak during that 2008 crash. You know what I'm saying? We may not be seeing it hardcore, but like I talked to my cousin earlier. He got laid off last week. You know what I'm saying? His wife, she works for the city, so that's why she still has her job, and that's what's holding it together for them. You know what I mean? But it's people like this cats that come to the comic book shop all the time who are done. They're laid off, bro, and they're feeling that shit now already. So it's a reality. It is a reality. The question is, will the economy bounce back? Will they float the economy? And to Afotey's point, you got a better chance of them doing whatever they got to do to make it work. The question is, will they do the right thing? Will they make the choice to send that money to the people, which will then go back into the economy, like you were saying, you're buying shit, or will they just give the money to the motherfuckers who are already rich and the goddamn, you know what I'm saying?
Which they try to sneak in that current bill right now, which the Democrats stopped,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. So they don't handle the shit right. There's gonna be some. Motherfuckers are real time. Motherfuckers are already feeling it. But if they don't handle this shit correctly, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers are definitely gonna feel it. We're all gonna feel it. And then, not to mention just the pandemonium that comes from it. Because look what happened when they first announced the shit. People was going crazy fighting over toilet tissue. You know what I'm saying?
I think
All
that's
right.
the problem.
Yeah,
That's the bigger problem. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the real shit. I mean, I think the virus shit. I mean, not to minimize it, whatever. I think the virus shit is the smaller portion. It's just, but it's the fucking economy and the fallout and the sheer madness of the people that I wonder about. You know what I'm saying? How far will it go?
Yeah. Well, 9/11 was a flashbang. This coronavirus is a slow burn. So
Yeah, they talking about 30%. They're talking about 30% unemployment already. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's
who's
insane.
unemployed? Is it the entertainment industry that's suffering?
No, the U.S. numbers 30% unemployment. You know what I'm saying? Already,
Right.
like that's insane though. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean
Like just
before the
across the board.
coronavirus.
Yeah, no. As a
No, because
result of
of
this shit.
as a result
Yeah.
of it.
As a result of this shit, motherfuckers getting laid off. Like right now, unemployment offices are supposedly. I have not been to one. Unemployment offices are supposedly crazy right now. Like if you go online, check out the stats and all this kind of bullshit. You're talking about 30% unemployment. That's unheard of. Where we are right now is unheard of. Where the stock market is right now is unheard of. Like this is way past 2008 at its peak. We're way past that already. I don't think everybody
We're,
realizes that.
we're
And
seeing
Mick,
an unprecedented use of the word unprecedented.
There you
gonna
go.
lo-
Unprecedented uses of the word unprecedented. You know what I mean? So I
Mickey,
don't know. Huh?
you're gonna love this because I want you to think back to when you were in the when you me and you were you were in the military, right?
Uh-huh.
Think about this. Imagine that your enlistment ended last month. And
Yeah.
you got
Oh man.
Fucking suck,
where are
man.
you applying? Where are you getting your money?
Yeah,
And the people who are thinking about getting out of the military under these circumstances,
that's it. That's what I was
especially
telling my brother, man. When back in 2000, the 2008 crash, he was in the Navy. He's like, oh man, like, this shit just sucked. He was in Japan. He's like, oh, he's still in Japan. He's like, cause he stayed in. He's like, oh man, I just want to come home, man. I'm just feel like I ain't got no place for this shit ain't for me. I was like, and I was contracting at the time, but I was like, bro, are you seeing what's going on in the States right now?
I know.
Like, you better stay on.
Stay where you is. Stay where you is.
Yeah, bro.
All,
Stay where you at.
Mhm.
all,
Crazy.
Aldi and Amazon.
Yeah, this crazy. I was talking to my cousin. We were discussing this shit. Shout out to my cousin. He's fresh out the pack on the YouTubes and the Facebooks, right? But we was talking about this shit today. Like, I see mad jobs. Like, I didn't had a fucking I didn't had four so far. I had four um, orientations with Amazon. You know what I'm saying? They keep being canceled because you know what I'm saying. Like I like, dude, like there's mad jobs out there, right? That I'm getting notified of, but ain't nobody trying to do no interviews. You know what I'm saying? You gonna come into the interview with the Corona in a 3-piece suit? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to do that.
Life interview.
And so this is the worst time right now. If you are without a job, right? Even though because the economy was screaming a little while ago, right? Everybody was hiring. You know what I'm saying? But now even all them now hiring signs are still up for the most part, but those same businesses are either shut down or laying off or working remotely, and the motherfuckers online where you would have had an interview set up, they're like, nah, we're gonna have to hold that up for a little while. You know what I'm saying? So what if you that cat that absolutely was pending on getting that new job? You know what I'm saying? Now your new job is finding some fucking 9mm ammunition. You know what I'm saying? You can go to somebody's window, man. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering, like the economy piece. I'm just wondering if they're gonna be smart enough to to do this shit right, or they're gonna be dumbasses and give the money to those guys, same guys who fucking got bailed out last time and goddamn gave their CEOs all the money and shit. I just wonder how it's gonna go because I don't think people stand for that shit this time.
Oh, they're gonna give it to the rich guys. Of course they are.
You think people will stand for it though? You think we'll take it?
Dude,
Get the fuck out. Because I don't know.
I wish we could be like France and start, dragging people out of offices and and shit. But...
Guillotine. Off with his head.
I just don't think we've there. I don't think that yeah, I'm like you. I'm like you, Spiros. I just don't see the Americans that I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? PlayStation all day. I just don't. Yeah. I don't know, man. But at the same time, you push anybody far enough, man. Yeah, I done seen some little skinny nerds in school beat up some big dudes. You know? Remember that in high school, you in school, in middle school, and high school and shit. And you push that little guy too far, man. You know what I'm saying? You push him too far, bro. He just didn't had enough, and he started growling like a tiger and swinging at people. So you never know, man. Maybe people will get so tired of this bullshit and they'll flip out. Cause
I mean, something needs to give. Like, the people that are too content to revolt, like, need to get out and, turn the system on its fucking ass. So.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what they'll do. I don't know what we'll do.
I don't know. I have word from a very reliable source that Aldi is waiting on your drug test to hire you.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you might not pass, you might get to work for a couple months before they find out. So,
like, listen, we're not gonna test you for the week, but we got to swab your nose.
Yeah,
we
right.
Got to swab your nose, bro. We got to swab your nose.
Crazy.
Dude, I need to find out if there are any of those drive-up swab places around me and just, roll on through.
Same here.
Because, I mean, it's not like they're, checking your insurance card before they stick a Q-tip in your nose. So
they're not supposed to be, at least. They're not supposed to be.
I'm gonna tell you some. Every time I hear or want to say the word coronavirus, I want to say it the way Cardi B does.
Oh God, how does she say it? I haven't even paid attention.
Coronavirus. You haven't seen those memes?
Nah, man. I half the memes I scroll by and the other half I share. So.
Somebody made a remix of it already. No, go ahead.
Have y'all seen that DC Warner Brothers is already talking about recasting Aquaman, Jason Momoa? I think they're talking about doing the next two movies and then phasing them out and bringing in a different Aquaman. I'm so done with DC at this point, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. They should. I think Bobby, Mr. Skullface, said that they should have cast Ocean Master as Aquaman, which I agree with because he has more of the characteristics of Aquaman than Jason Momoa.
In retrospect, actually, that is correct. Yeah, the guy who played the brother, should have been Aquaman because he does look like the more traditional Aquaman, fresh cut Aquaman, not 90s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Jason
but the ladies wasn't turning out for that though. The ladies wanted to see Momoa, man.
Jason Momoa can be Lobo.
That's right.
Hey, he would have been a cool ass Lobo.
The best Lobo. That is exactly who Lobo is right there.
My man.
Right. You bastard.
But then they would have had memes, Justice League so white,
Mhm. Yo, I just realized something. Holy shit. I just realized, like, I have a couple of desk bots at work.
They got the virus.
I got the virus now.
The virus.
Mm.
Squad, I gotta go. I'll let,
It's late. I'm sorry.
I'm checking out early. I gotta go run errands for my parents right quick.
Nah, I mean, hey, we've been off for an hour and a half now. So, and I still have the other episode from yesterday or the other day that was what, like 2 hours or something.
All right, gents.
All
I'll see
right,
y'all.
you'll have a good
All
one.
right,
Be
fellas.
safe out there.
We'll
Wait a
do-
minute,
Huh?
Spiros, you want to give us a new outro?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
What?
Everyone's watching.
I need
If
to.
you're not
What
prepared,
you would
okay,
do.
Yeah, let me listen to the latest Nerd Rage so I can get the updated roster for the cool table. And then I'll put something together.
Are we still on the cool table? Like,
We are. We got reinstated because we put
You
out
know-
a new episode.
Oh, that's
even
nice.
though we helped
I thought we were
start the cool
gone.
table, are we still on the cool table?
That's how we
still
got moved.
All
We
right,
got
all
we got uncool for 2 weeks and then we got recooled.
Yeah, I don't know. if that's-
Ricula.
All right.
It's all
fellas.
good. Hey, it's all love.
It's all
it
love.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Be safe out there, boys.
All right, folks.